Hello everybody, this is Kathy and welcome to Mixed Media Frenzy. Now I will have a list of all my scrappy friends down in the description box. Now the first thing I am doing is I pulled out this 12 by 12 stencil and I'm using a black cardstock and I am taping it down so it won't move on me. Now, the stenciling took quite a bit of time. I am using Tim Holtz sponge, and I'm using White Daisy ink from Close to My Heart. And I am just dabbing it all over the whole background. Now, I think I leave some of this in so that you can see all of my process. And then voila, there it is. Now, I think a little bit of it is kind of damp, but next thing, I pulled out my Vicky Bouton art crayons, and I used some white paint, and I'm just kind of dabbing it on my silicone brush, plus getting it all over my fingers. Now this turns out really, really messy. Really messy. And I go ahead and get out that crayon again and put a little bit more paint. And then I ended up not liking it. And I went ahead and I got my shimmer sprays. Well, one of them is Lindy's, and a couple of them, let's see, the Lindy's is Mad Hatter Mint. See, now that kind of looks like a light green, but kind of white. So that's why I decided to go ahead and add some green to the background. I love this layout, love it, and I love the way theirs turned out. I love the green. It's not a color that I scrapbook with often, so I wanted to give it a try. Now I did go through the photos that I have of Braden and Amanda, and I found one of them fishing. They're always going fishing. So I went ahead and pulled a photo out that has some green in Amanda's shirt and then green in Braden's shirt. So, alright, so that is where I see that it still needed to dry a little bit. Now I am adding more crayon and more paint to this bag. Now there's some texture things that they used on their layout. Now I went ahead and tore apart this. It was a stencil, and I don't know, it's kind of like a thin, you could tear it and stuff. But I thought I would paint these to put on my page. And they're really soggy wet. So for some reason I still haven't found my heat tool, and this layout took me several hours because I had to wait for everything to dry. So yeah, I really like how these little things that you can tuck everywhere and add a bunch of texture to your layout. These were some old Heidi Swapp stencils, and I just cut them up. They seem to be out of like a cardboard. I think that's how I would describe it. I realized that I needed some darker green on these little things that I painted, but I'm not able to dry them, so I'm having to just kind of spray them and go from there. Now I do lay them off to the side so that I can spray them again. Now this time I'm trying to spray, but I'm going to put a little bit of green on some packaging and just kind of smush that around. And then I decide to get out the spray and just spray it. And believe me, it don't dry like that. It dries really light color. I think because I'm using white paint. And if I would have dried it, the colors would have been a lot darker. But can't find my tool. I don't know where I put it. Anyway, I'm trying to fan it like that's going to dry it faster. But see, it's getting there. It's getting a little bit darker. So now I want to add my background to some white cardstock because this paper that I'm using, the black, is really thin and I almost tore it and I get it lopsided and I have to pull it up a little bit and I almost tear it there. See how it's buckling? That's because the paper that I'm using was really thin. But I get all that covered up, you won't even be able to see it. So I did get out my mesh. Who all has mesh in their stash? I pulled out green. And I'm just going to lay them in a couple of spots. And I pulled out my scraps. And I'm going to play with them a little bit. Okay, here's my photo. I thought about using a doily. They have all kinds of different things on their layout. Okay, now I'm tucking in the mesh underneath my photo and those little stencil cardboard thingies. Sticking that in. And then this layout, I got to play with a lot of my paper flowers, the dimensional flowers. So I pulled out a lot of the green. Now this 3x3 card has green in it too. It says happiness blooms from within. And they are happy. They are fishing. So okay, I am just kind of briefly laying stuff out and seeing how I like it. Now, I already had some leaves cut out from my die cutting machine. And I already had some green cut out, so I'm using them just to add more green to the layout. It's all in what you have is what I put on my layout, is things that I have, like the stencil isn't the dot like they have. So, and then I brought a doily in. I don't think they have a doily on theirs, but I worked with what I have. So now I put some foam adhesive behind my photo just to kind of raise it up a little bit. And now I'm trying to glue the mesh on. And this is where I put some foam adhesive, some fun foam behind my photo. So that kind of gives it a little lift. And then I'm going to tuck some more of that. It's like a sage green mesh that I had. I didn't use any other colors, just this one. Okay, get the other piece tucked under there. And then tuck this one in. And that one. Add a little bit more glue. All right, I like that. And then I'm going to tuck this little torn piece of paper in on the right of my photo. Kind of gives it that green color to match Braden's sweatshirt or t-shirt. Okay, now the fun is going to begin. Starting to glue this other side and then lay down this 3x3 card. Gotta tuck all them goodies in. This is where I bring in my stapler, just to kind of staple that stuff underneath this 3x3 card. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of foam adhesive right in the middle of that. Okay, now I'm going to tuck the leaves and glue this down. Okay, now is placing the flowers. I want to put, they have their title underneath the photo, so I kind of want to put some of the title underneath my photo and then some in between the photo and the 3x3 card. So I'm only going to use 4 of the flowers. Alright, so I got some glue on all those, and now I'm just kind of placing them down. Just like that. Okay, guess what my title is going to be? It has to do with fishing. We love fishing is what my title is going to be. I had to stop the video to go look for some white stickers that have all of the letters that I am needing. So I'm just going to layer that underneath the photo. And I really like the white because it really stands out. I'm gluing my title down as we speak. So I like the word fishing down there. And then I'm going to put We Love up kind of nestled above the 2 flowers there. Alright. Get all them pulled out there. Now, you can see it a lot better in person than you can in the video. Alright. So I really like that. Now I'm going to, I went through my enamel dots and I pulled out the green. And I'm adding green enamel dots to it. And then I think the last thing I do is add some Heidi Swapp Gold Color Shine. And give that a sprinkle around the layout. And that is it. Please go check out our Facebook group. And don't forget, check out my friends down below. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.